about smart policing, and we have a good panel of eminent speakers from across India. I would like to introduce our speakers with all of you. We have Mr. Srinivas Verma, Inspector General of Police, Riva Range, Madhya Pradesh. Then we have Mr. C.S.R. Reddy, Additional Director General, Punjab Police. And we have Mr. Avinash Mohanty, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Cyberabad, Hyderabad from Telangana State. Please give him a big hand. So we will talk about smart ways of ensuring safe cities, importance of smart policing. Smart city is not all about smart infrastructure, but also about smart policing. So here in this session, these speakers will deliberate over this issue, and session will be chaired by Mr. Srinivas Verma. Mr. Verma, I would request you to moderate the session. Over to you, sir.
A very good afternoon to all of you. That's my colleague Mr. Mohanty, all the dignitaries present here. The topic for today's panel discussion is smart ways of ensuring safe cities. Now, when we talk about smart cities and how to ensure that they are safe, there comes the aspect of policing. In a democratic setup, we have the values of civil liberties, humanity values, liberty, equality, fraternity. And then, when we talk about policing in such a setup, where do you draw the line? Day in and day out, when you read in the papers, you say that police has committed so many atrocities. Police is not very accountable. Police is not very responsive. The investigation is not proper. In this kind of a scenario, how do we ensure that the goal of smart cities and the need for smart policing? Friends, in my opinion, no civilized society should tolerate any kind of lawlessness. Many times I am very much surprised when I read the papers. Let us take a simple case of 100, 200 people are doing a roadblock. Now the roadblock seems to be a very simple offence, yet it is an offence. And if the police deal with them in a very harsh manner, the newspaper headline next day would say, police have come down heavy-handedly on peaceful protesters. Here is the irony of democratic policing. The peaceful protesters are breaking the law by staging a roadblock, ensuring that traffic either way is held up for tens of kilometers, people not able to reach their schools, offices, hospitals, courtrooms, children stranded in buses. And then when the police try to break the demonstrators by using a lathi charge, there is a lot of human cry that human rights are being violated. So when we talk about smart cities and smart policing, in my opinion, not only should the cities be smart, we should have smart laws, smart legal enforcement, which is police enforcement, smart prosecution, and quick justice. Dear friends, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the theory called the broken windows theory. Anybody have heard about it? One. There's a theory called broken windows theory. It's a very, very famous concept in Western law enforcement. The concept is very simple. It says, if one guy sees the other person breaking the law and not being penalized for it, there is a tendency that a law-abiding citizen also becomes a law-breaking citizen. It's a very popular and proven theory. So I feel that a civil society should not give rise to windows being broken, which in effect means you have to repair all the broken windows, which also means that zero tolerance for any kind of a law breaking. So when we talk about smart policing, what do we need to ensure that smart cities also have smart policing? We need to select the best men. For example, in Madhya Pradesh today, most of the constabulary are only 10th standard pass. They give an exam, they run some physical 1500 meters and they are selected. No training given in computers prior to being selected. They do not have the knowledge of driving. They do not have any knowledge of laws. One more thing, we do not take the best men and then we do not trust them. Everywhere we hear police is this, police is that. When we go to the police station, we are not given a good treatment, we are not heard properly. There is a common complaint when you go to the police station. So for the police to be smart, you need to select the best men, give them the best of training, give them the best of equipment. Today when you go to London, when you go to New York or other cities, I was just reading in the paper, there is a smart city coming up in Dubai. It's called Masdar. Many people must have read in the papers, where you don't have any driverless cars. Policing is done through enforcement of city surveillance, through latest technologies in policing. So for us to move towards these systems, we need to take the best men, train them, give them best of equipment. All over the country, not only policing, but the systems which result in better conviction also need to be smart. I remember I visited London in 2012. We were taken to the court of law to see how the prosecution is done. One case had come up before the court, and you will not believe it, the first day of hearing, the judge heard the case for 2 hours, 1.5 to 2 hours, and gave the sentence then and there itself. It was a simple case of marpeet, and the judge sentenced the guy to community service for 6 months. Can you imagine that in India, where the case has come up today, the hearing has been done only for 2 hours and the sentence has been passed? This is what gives rise to a deterrent effect. Like you want to cut down the broken windows, everybody should know that if I break the law, I will be punished. So my dear friends, setting this tone, what I would say is that for the cities to have smart police, we need to take the best men, train them in the best possible way, equip them in the best possible manner. We need to smartly prosecute as quickly as possible, put up the case in the court of law and the quick conviction. Only then all the broken windows will be repaired and the citizens who break the law will be afraid to do so, thus ensuring smart and safe cities. I think with this few words, I will request Reddy sir to come and make his PowerPoint presentation. Thank you very much.
Smart cities, safe cities, these are the synonymous words. Smart cities, a brief. The smart cities are getting incredibly vast and varied infrastructure, continuously vulnerable to threats, significant risk to safety, responsibilities for law enforcement and public safety, comprehensive approach between early warning and real-time situations, complete cycle for intelligence, evidence, response, investigation, debriefing, change in role of police and emergency services, and terror-based threats, and addressing situations using technology, information and human intervention. The main objectives of the smart city policing, smart policing is, one is crime prevention, to make deterrence to the criminals, then effective service delivery, that is the response to various critical incidents, the fastest response and the effective response. And third component is the economics. This smart policing will lead to greater economic activity, cost saving and less police deployment. Benefits are all one to the administration, then there are these benefits for the citizens. So the benefits of smart policing are for everybody, administration, the society, the police administration. Key components of the smart policing. Component 1 is surveillance equipment, variable message signs. Component 2 is network connectivity. Component 3, data center, storage and applications, etc. Component 4, command and viewing centers, which is very important. Video wall and monitoring stations, that's command centers. Component 5 is collaborative monitoring, working with various stakeholders. Component 6, help desk and FMS. This is the solution architecture for smart policing required, wherein data is collected and database is built up, and the database is stored properly and is shared and used in the police administration. The video analysis, it can be an online video analysis or it can be an offline video analysis. Video analysis is, online video analysis is presence of detection of moving and stopped vehicles, directional sensitive presence detection, congestion detection, loitering detection, improper parking, camera tampering and abandoned objects and detection. Offline, you can record the video, and offline you can analyze for various reasons which are mentioned here. Overall, the smart policing objectives are manage and reduce crime, maximize information through technology, improve reaction time, reduce vehicular travel time for city, better traffic management, force multiplier effect for authorities and ground staff, create deterrence to law violators. Smart cities, smart policing, the major components are, one is the video surveillance, I mentioned, then alarms and sensors, which is very important because you cannot put a police person at every nook and corner of the city. So alarms and sensors are going to play a major role. Critical incident management, it is very important in handling especially the law and order situations or other situations, because effective timely response by the police can save the scale of the incident, taking to, many times we read one small incident in one small corner of the city has spread to entire state or maybe to the entire country within minutes because of the active role played by the media and other communication services. So command and control center, this is very important. We are making all out effort to build command and control centers which can take care of the critical incidents. Safe city, a blueprint, basically it is data collection. One is the current data collection, and second is connecting to the other existing databases of existing in silos with various other departments. The data collation and analysis at city command and control center. This is very important. And communication and response. That's what I was telling is to improve the response, we have to immediately communicate to the concerned police personnel or police patrol van so that the incident is taken care of immediately. Safe city monitoring and surveillance 1. Video surveillance, that is at various sensitive locations. Traffic surveillance to do good traffic management. Command control center, viewing center. Integration with external applications including CCTNS and GIS. Automated number plate recognition system which can be installed at the entry points of the city. Red light violation detection system and speed detection. City monitoring surveillance 2, traffic data analysis, traffic management, smart parking. So basically this is all to maintain the smooth flow of traffic so that the travel time is cut off. Then you can even have emergency services networking. Then face recognition systems at sensitive places. Key benefits of smart surveillance is a safe urban environment, increased personal safety and public safety, enhanced situation awareness, effective resolution of the events, and effective event management. In Punjab, we have taken, in addition to the CCTNS, these are the 2 IT platforms which are in IT initiatives taken. CCTNS, I need not go into detail. This is a crime criminal tracking network system, which is a Government of India project implemented by state police organizations and other organizations. This is basically to build up crime data base and sharing the information. Sanj. This is one of the key projects the Punjab has taken up. This is a community policing project we started. The main objective of this Sanj is to build a neutral interface between the public and the police. In this, we have built up Sanj Kendras at police station level, sub-division level, district levels. In a new, these are away from the police setup. The public need not go to the police stations to file their complaints and get harassed. They can go into these Sanj Kendras. They file their complaints immediately of the geographical jurisdiction, and they work in a civilian kind of atmosphere. When you enter these places, you are given that you have entered a civilian setup, because all our police personnel are also in civil dresses, and all these Sanj Kendras are networked, so you can find out the position of your complaint, FIR. You can go to any place, any Sanj Kendra in the state, you can find out the current status. So this is 27 districts, 114 subdivisions, 359 police stations. We opened Sanj Kendras here. So they are totally independent from the police setup. They are not present in the police premises at all. They are away. So they are registered as a society. So every Sanj Kendra works as independent unit as a society. So they manage their own finances, their own resources. It's a community police partnership. We have co-opted a lot of experts because we deal with children, we deal with women. So we have experts from all the fields. These are information centers for specialized services also, because these Kendras are connected to a lot of other databases. So community policing training we are giving to all our police personnel and to the citizens also. Dual interaction, that's what I said. IT platform to centralized server. So centralized data uploading is there. So this provides all services by the police department in a time-bound manner. We have listed almost like 15 services, and we have given the time frame that somebody wants a passport verification, somebody wants some verification to be done or complaint filed. So we have fixed the right to service, under the Right to Service Act, we have fixed the timelines and they have to work under those timelines. These are the details you can get. on this issue. Thank you very much.
Now I request Mr. Mohanty to please put up his PowerPoint presentation. Thank you.
Something everybody loves to hate about their own city is traffic. I've never seen anybody say one good word about the traffic in their own city. But I'd still risk discussing a little bit of traffic, that too after a good lunch. Because I feel that's something all of us connect to. Most of us connect to traffic more than any other branch of police, because we all go through it every day. At some point of time, we have some encounter, whether good or bad, with a traffic cop. And we make our whole image of police based on traffic only. So there are certain aspects of traffic that are very integral with city planning, and traffic, of course, is a direct consequence of what you do in planning your city, your urban center, whether if it's rural area, it's your rural area. So, and since a lot of people from different backgrounds who are into city planning are here, I thought it appropriate that we talk a little about traffic and the things that we are trying to put in place to make traffic a little more faster for people who are traveling, and also make it safer. I'm sure all of us are very familiar with the fact that there are almost 1.5 lakh deaths in a year due to traffic accidents. In Hyderabad, that's the commissionerate, it's a part of Hyderabad. Traffic deaths are we register about 1100 deaths a year, which is quite large in a single unit. So for us, it's a very important aspect. What did we do? One thing that everybody wants is faster movement in traffic. Morning, of course, they were telling that Bhopal has no traffic problem, but a place like Hyderabad, Bangalore, Bombay, you visit and the first thing that you reach the airport, will I make it to my meeting on time? If you finish your meeting, will I make it back to the airport on time? So this is something that's constantly on our minds every day. You want to save those 10 minutes to be home. So what do you do? What do you do for that? One, increase speed so that you travel faster on the roads. Second, make it a little more safer, little more disciplined, so that accidents are less, confusion is less. So what did we do? In Hyderabad, I mean, you must not be familiar with Hyderabad. I'm sure everybody knows Hyderabad. So Hyderabad is nothing but a part of Hyderabad, extended part of Hyderabad. For police, it's a separate unit, so we call it Hyderabad. So one, we changed our signaling system. Signaling system is one of the most important aspects of traffic management, because the way you regulate traffic is directly related to how your signaling system works. So one, we introduced something called H-stream signaling system. H-streams is short for Hyderabad Traffic Integrated Management System. Then we have something called an integrated e-challan. Nowadays most cities are introducing. I'll tell a little bit about that. We have a cab registration system, because after what happened in Delhi with that Uber incident, and of course there was a similar incident in Hyderabad a year and a half back. After that incident, we thought there is a necessity to have some control on cabs. So we had a system of cab registration. And of course now the in thing is social media. Everybody wants to have a presence on social media. Everybody wants to have some kind of app to connect with people, to disseminate information. So we also have our own, so that's something I'll tell about. We have different, because one must understand that technology, our inherent core competence is not technology. Traffic police, their inherent work is regulation, enforcement. We can't get into technology as much, so we need partners. We need people who can help us bring that technology onto the ground. So what you see are the people with whom we partner to bring these technologies out. Okay, as I told you, it's called H-streams. It covered 221 junctions. That is, 221 junctions have these H-stream signals in Hyderabad. and Cyberabad. These signals are all networked and they are adaptive, as I said. Why I am calling them networked is all these signals are networked by a primary, that is a leased line, and also a secondary backup in the form of a, what do you call, a dongle, and they're all connected to the central command and control center in the traffic police headquarters, that is for Cyberabad and Hyderabad. So what we can do from there is I can sit in the control room, change the timing of a particular signal. These signals, you can change their timings. There are multiple timer modes. Generally what you see is if you set the timer for a signal, that works the same way throughout the day. But you can input different timings for different periods of the day, because you have peak hour traffic, then you have lean hour traffic, then you have afternoon traffic, holiday traffic. So for different days we have holiday modes also. Say it's a Sunday, we put it on holiday mode. So because there's not much flow of traffic, so you don't have to give much time for those signals. Something like that. Then we have something called a vehicle actuated mode. You set it on auto, that signal itself has sensors. It measures the flow of traffic and then it changes the signal accordingly. If there's high density on one side, it increases the time for that side and reduces for the other side, and does it on its own. They're all networked, so that if you want to change the time suddenly, you just have to call up the control room through your radio and tell them that this time is 30 seconds, I want it to be changed to 15 seconds, he'll sit there and just change it. Any signal anywhere in the city. And this has been done by Bharat Electronics, and needless to say that it's a project of the municipal corporation, because traffic police is not into infrastructure building. So it's the project of the municipal corporation. The signals get damaged, they can be remotely repaired, diagnosed and repaired from the control unit, unless of course it's a physical fault. The rest of the things I've already told you. This is something, it works on a virtual loop system. What you see are virtual loops. They are not actual loops dug on the ground, but they are virtual loops created by the cameras to sense the vehicle flow. And you can see it makes a count on its own. It's all a background activity, and then it decides what traffic is flowing. This is what you can sit in a control room and see how a signal is actually working. Can I use the? Yeah. See, you can see that there's a green side. There's a green signal on this side, that is traffic is flowing. Rest are red. There's no net connectivity. Otherwise, from here I could have shown you a live signal. You could have seen what's happening exactly there. So this is something. Then these signals are basically solar powered, so at each stage you can tell whether that is functioning well. Now it's being powered by solar or by battery or by electricity supply. Everything can be seen from the control. This is a snapshot of the dashboard. This is what the control room looks like. So you sit there, you monitor each signal, you can correct if you want. If you have a good net connectivity, you can, it's a scalable model. So it all depends on net connectivity. If you have a good net connectivity, you can actually see the physical video of the junction as well. Coming to e-challan, I am sure now most cities are developing some form of e-challan or the other. But Hyderabad, it's a very old project which has been developed in-house over the years. It started sometime in 2007, and today we are 2015, 8 years down the line. It's getting robust by the year, it's improving, and we are removing all the glitches that we are seeing, bringing in new technology each year. Why do we need a e-challan system? First, our challan system is basically, it's a book. Most of you would have seen. All of us at some point of our life have cursed the traffic police at least once for seeing that challan. Now, when you enter data in that challan, it's not again fed into a central database, because it's very difficult to manually feed so much of data into a database. There's no history of the offender. The new Road Safety Act, Road Safety Bill which we are talking of, we are talking of cancellation of license, we are talking of point system and all. So this challan system by a book doesn't enable all that, because you don't maintain a history of the offender. You don't know how much fine is being collected every day, or even if you know, it's a very cumbersome manual process. You collate from police station, pass it on to the control room, then again he totals it up, puts it out and all that. What is the performance of each person, whether each person is doing enough work in his area or not, you don't know. Second, there is a system where you give a challan and give it to him, he can pay later. So if he doesn't pay, there is no way of getting back at him. You don't know whether if you catch him later also, he can always say, I never had a challan in my life. So it's very difficult. A lot of, I said, wastage of man hours in updating and all. Payment. Nowadays with multiple payment modes, everybody doesn't carry cash on them all the time. So it doesn't enable multiple payment modes. So basically, to overcome all these problems, we have started something called e-challan. What is e-challan? E-challan is nothing but, enforcement is two ways in e-challan. One is contact. Contact is the usual challan which you write. Second is non-contact. Non-contact enforcement is enforcement wherein you don't stop the offender actually on the place. You don't stop him and say, "Aapne wo aisa line cross kiya, aapne wo signal toda." You don't tell him anything. You just take a photo. Either our traffic chap who's there on the ground, he takes a photo, or a photo is taken by a camera, or a photo is taken by a a speed laser gun when you're on the highway, or by an automatic red light violation detector. So all these photos, they all are collated and then a challan is made. This type of enforcement is called non-contact because you don't get in touch with the offender. So both contact and non-contact put together, then putting it in an electronic format. That is, for the contact, we don't use challan books anymore. We either use a PDA, that is a personal digital assistant, or a tab nowadays, because nowadays tabs are very cheap and very easily obtainable. So tab, and then you find them. I'll just show you a few snapshots how it's done. All these things are fed into a e-challan system, all these forms of violations. And then all this come into, say I'll just give an example. Say in a police station, traffic police station, today say 100 photos of violators have been taken. So at the end of the day, what each person comes, he gives his photos to the police station writer. What he does is, it's a software, he doesn't have to enter. Each photo is fed into the system. The number is typed in. The most important requirement for this is connectivity. You should be connected to the various databases because police doesn't maintain a database of the vehicle registrations. So automatically, once you type in the vehicle number, it connects to the RTA database, fetches the owner and his address. The time, when we take the photo, we've bought such cameras where the time and the place is stamped onto the photo. So automatically the time and location is on the photo, and then the owner name and address comes from the RTA and the challan is generated. Similarly, when you take a ARLVD photo or any such thing, all photos are similarly clubbed and challans are generated. It's generated in a manual form and the challan is sent by post. But the most important thing is it is fed into a central database. So every challan is in a database. Even the person who's doing a spot challan with a PDA, so he keys in, the PDA has a GPRS, a SIM, regular SIM. The moment he puts in your vehicle number, your violation challan, everything into the PDA, it goes and sits on the server. Say suddenly, since all the database is centrally there, suddenly I catch somebody who's coming, I just key in, आपने ये गलती किया, तो I key in his number, आपका helmet के बिना चला रहे, ठीक है, आपका number डाल दिया गाड़ी में. Then immediately you realize is his whole past history of violation comes on your PDA. So you can find out whether that person is a first time offender, is a multiple offender, he has unpaid challans, because the challans are sent by post, so many don't bother to pay. So if he's caught someday on the road, so you know his whole history of challan, so you can find him, aapka 5,000 ka challan. There are auto drivers who had pending challans of 20,000 rupees since 2009. Somehow he has never come into the police net. So all his challans have been pending. So one fine day he gets caught for some small offense. So his history comes out. Some 100 challans worth 20,000 rupees would be pending against him. So he will recover that. So that not only earns revenue for the government, it brings an amount of deterrence basically. मैं कुछ करके बच नहीं सकता, आज नहीं तो कल पकड़ा जाता कहीं भी. So that's the most important thing. This is something our PDA looks like this. It is attached to a Bluetooth printer. So each of our traffic SIs carries a PDA, a Bluetooth printer. Nowadays, of course, we have given them body-worn cameras also. I have not shown that because we record every interaction that he's having with a a member of the public. Because nowadays you have a lot of allegations. Paisa मांग लिया, 100 रुपए के चालान के जगह 50 रुपए मांग लिया. A lot of allegations, misbehavior. So to overcome all that, we have given them body-worn cameras. So almost all of them, they are carrying body-worn cameras now. So every interaction is recorded. Then all this data from all these things which you see is fed into the PDA because it is a centralized database. Pending challans is fed into it. We have something called she teams in Hyderabad and Cyberabad to prevent different kinds of harassment of women. So any such individual who is ever caught by a she team, his data is also in a database. So if he is caught, he knows that this fellow was at some point involved in something. Chain snatching, some people regularly, chain snatching is now a pastime for the criminals. When they can't do anything, they do chain snatching. It's the easiest crime in the country now. All you have to do is do a snatching. Even if you are caught, you go, you are out on bail in 3 days. Get on along, and then again you have this database of chain snatchers also, which is fed into that. Vehicle permissions for heavy vehicles and all, each city has their own rules, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, whatever those timings, and which vehicle is given permission and all. That data also is fed into it. Then insurance, we are connected with IRDA through Indian Information Bureau. So all the non-insured vehicle database also is there. So insurance ka copy, even many people have false insurance copies. So that data also you can't give a false insurance and get away with it. So insurance database is also there. And just recently we have integrated Aadhaar also with it. So your identity, if you are giving me a license number, nowadays we keying in the license number also because of the point system which is to come. So license number is also entered. So the moment you enter license number, the name comes. You can check up, you can take his Aadhaar card. Most people have Aadhaar card. You can check up whether it's the same person or it's a duplicate. So that data is also there. And of course, RC and driving license both are there, invariably. This is what it will come, it looks like, the PDA snapshot. You can see the owner's name, address, everything, vehicle type, everything. Pending challans 1400 rupees was the pending amount. Then even his paid challan history is there. Then you can select what violation, whatever extra passenger, cell phone driving, whatever you want to key in, you can key in and generate a challan. Most important part, as I said, you can do performance evaluation, data analytics, what kind of offenses are more, what are less. You can, once it's on computer, on database, rest is just a programmer's job. Everything you can play around with. So that's the beauty of it. And of course, these are the key integrations which are required. You need to have an integration with the Road Transport Authority or the Transport Department, as it's called in many states. You need an integration with crime. IRDA we have integrated. Public we are integrated with. We have an app. I'll talk about it later. We have a e-challan app. You can download that app, register your vehicle number on that app. So whenever a e-challan is generated against your vehicle, you will get a notification on your app. Aadhaar, of course. How does it help? Very easy to say. As I told you, brings about a lot of transparency. I mean, increased revenue, I told, it's just an offshoot of this thing. In Cyberabad alone, last year we collected 48 crores by way of a traffic fine compounding amount. 48 crores. Last year we collected, 40 crores. This year we are expected to touch 48 crores. We are already 28 crores now. So, I mean, you can realize how much people violate on the roads. So then, of course, and as one good offshoot is, it really improves interdepartmental cooperation. Say RTA wants to give a NOC, they can find out from us what number of NOCs are pending, I mean, what number of challans are pending. We are talking to RTA, RTA is talking to us. A lot of sharing of information is there. People, of course, can pay now because these PDAs have swiping facilities. You can swipe your card, you can pay by cash, you can go to a e-seva center, or you can pay online. Net banking also is enabled now. I didn't put it, I forgot that. and of course traffic compounding booths. As I told you, one more initiative which we took was cab registration because of that incidents which happened in Delhi, one similar one in Hyderabad. So we thought what's happening is an incident is taking place. It's becoming very difficult to track the cab after it happens. So what we did is decided to have every cab registered with the police, with the owner details, his proof of identity and address. Then we give them something called a QR coded sticker. I'll show you that. And any employee nowadays, everybody has a smartphone. You can just scan the QR code. You obtain all the details about the vehicle. Those stickers are put on the front and rear windscreen. So far we have registered about 27,000 cabs and 19,000 we have given them stickers. This is what the QR coded sticker looks like. We give them a police registration number. This is the QR code. This thing at the corner is, you can just scan it. If you have a mobile phone, you can scan it. It will give every detail about the vehicle. We are doing it with partnership with Cyberabad Security Council. It's a society which has all the IT companies as member. The Commissioner of Police Cyberabad is the honorary chairperson of that society. So they have some subscriptions and all, because police doesn't have funding for these kind of projects, so they pitch in to help us. And of course we have Facebook presence. It's really helpful, but only thing you need to plan is have somebody to respond, otherwise people start abusing. If you don't, they post something on Facebook, you don't reply in 7 days, next thing you get is abuse. It will do you more damage than good. And we have an app called Traffic Buddy. You can download that. Of course here it won't help you, but in Hyderabad, whenever in our area there's a traffic jam or a congestion, vehicle breakdown, we keep giving notifications. E-Challan app, as I told you, you can download, register. You can visit our website and find out about it. Thank you.
Time it takes to typically handle such a challan when you are entering a whole lot of information, including the name, vehicle number. Are you entering the license number as well?
Whenever there's a challan, I mean, somebody stops you, a typical session of interaction between a traffic policeman and the offender would last about 5 to 10 minutes. Sir, मैंने कुछ गलती नहीं किया, नहीं वो गलती नहीं सर छोड़ दो, क्या है छोटा गलती, पहली बार छोड़ दो. Typically 5 to 7 minutes. That's about enough to feed in the details.
Please give the mic.
My name is Anurag Gupta. I'm from A Little World. I want to know how much time it takes to typically handle such a challan when you are entering a whole lot of information, including the name, vehicle number. Are you entering the license number as well?
Whenever there's a challan, when somebody stops you, a typical session of interaction between a traffic policeman and the offender would last about 5 to 10 minutes. Sir, मैंने कुछ गलती नहीं किया, नहीं वो गलती नहीं सर छोड़ दो, क्या है छोटा गलती, पहली बार छोड़ दो. Typically 5 to 7 minutes. That's about enough to feed in the details.
Good.
Richard, can you please give the mic to Richard?
So I will give you.
Mike. Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to say it was a very fascinating presentation, and it's very encouraging to see Indian cities moving into the 22nd century with the traffic management systems, policing systems that are now becoming standard around the world. I wanted to actually ask whether Bhopal is also developing a similar traffic management system, signaling system, automated signaling, and perhaps the e-challan. Is that a project that's on? Is it a project that's being thought of, or is it a project we need to take up under a smart city initiative?
It has already been taken up, Richard. When I was DIG Bhopal, we have issued a tender and we've got a person who is executing the contract. I think it will be operational in another month or so, I think, yeah.
Can I ask? My name is Jawahar Ali. I am from Allied Digital. See, we have recently concluded the Pune City Surveillance Project, which covers 650 square kilometers. Now, my question regarding your e-challan is, okay, what is the cost of actually the full turnaround time for generating the e-challan vis-a-vis the amount which you collect? What is the ratio between the two?
I mean, it's very difficult to say. Like Hyderabad and Cyberabad, I told, are two different police units. Hyderabad has totally non-contact enforcement. I mean, even if you violate, they don't, they're not non-contact, cashless. They don't collect cash on the spot. So they just give you a ticket and expect you to pay wherever, whenever you do. In Cyberabad, we do both. We do this as well as that.
No, my question is, see what we found in some cases, the e-challan was delivered to the violator. Now the cost which was incurred in getting the e-challan or getting the follow-up and recovery done was having certain amount of cost element.
Yes, so it typically costs us about 5 rupees some paisa to print and post a e-challan by regular post. If you go into posting by registered post or speed post, that would go up by about 4 times, maybe 20 rupees per challan. But we are doing it at 5 rupees some paisa, I don't recollect exactly, per challan.
And how much you recover per challan?
So challan, we are not in the, I mean, traffic police is not in the business of earning revenue for the government.
No, it's not a question. No, what I'm saying.
The whole purpose of traffic police is to bring enforcement. The fine amount would be 200, 100, 500, 1000 depending on the violation. So I am not interested.
No, what we are trying to arrive at is a cost model to optimize the cost. It's not to see whether you make a profit.
As I told you, the revenue earning is purely incidental. 48 crores is the revenue earning.
No, not earning. My question is optimization of recovery, not earning. I mean, my question is...
You are saying if I spend 5 rupees...
How do you optimize that, bring down 5 rupees to 3 rupees or 2 rupees, the total cost of optimizing the entire operation? From that perspective, I'm asking the question.
I think 5 rupees...
Not from P&L statement.
I think 5 rupees is pretty optimal.
Yeah, okay. I mean, if it is really 5 rupees, then it is
5
very
rupees
much
some
optimized.
Paisa. Yeah, it's pretty optimal, I think.
Thank you so much. Very nice and meaningful session. So, before we close the session, I would like to call Mr. Tejasvi S. Nayak on stage to present memento to all the eminent speakers. Mr. Nayak. Can we have mementos on the stage, please? Please give him a big round.
PwC.
Thank you, Mr. Nayak. Thank you, Verma sir. Thank you, Reddy sir. Thank you, Mohanty ji.